I've got Kayla Smith back on the channel after a bit of a hiatus, and she's back with a freaking surge, man. We've got deals today. We're going to review the stats, and we've actually brought some special guests with us to look at some really cool large buildings.
We have a lot of listings. We have a pretty high average days on market as well as the median. So 63 average days on markets, 42 for the median. I think this is a great time to get into the market for the first time if you're a homeowner who has investing aspirations. So we talked about this home ownership program in Niagara, which they offer a down payment, which helps home buyers through 10% interest-free loan up to $66,774.80. And then there's the ADU program in St. Catharines, which a lot of people are familiar with, but max of $40,000 on an interior ADU and $80,000 on an exterior. And the reason I wanted to talk about that again, this is a snippet of the 160 houses, detached houses in Niagara, the region. This all shows St. Catharines and Thorold, under 450,000. So there are 165 houses under $450,000 that are detached.
Dang. Welcome back to the Canadian Real Estate Channel. I'm Adam JD Martin, your host, and today I've got Kayla Smith back on the channel after a bit of a hiatus, and she's back with a freaking surge, man. We've got deals today. We're going to review the stats, and we've actually brought some special guests with us to look at some really cool large buildings. So if you're into big buildings, you're into stats, you're into the Niagara region, stick around. We're going to hear from Kayla. Kayla, welcome back to the channel.
Hey guys, super excited to share the stats from April and a little bit of May. We cheated a bit, some great deals, and why we think it's a great time for first-time home buyers, investors to get into the market. We also have a new team member who's going to be chatting some deals. So yeah, I think we can jump into this, which I just explained. All right, so we have a lot of listings. We have a pretty high average days on market as well as the median. So 63 average days on markets, 42 for the median. Average list price, $877,249, median $699. And then you have our average sale price, $692,718. So quite a lot lower than the average list price. But Adam, I know you like this active listings by price range on the left-hand side. So the dark blue is row townhouses. The lighter blue is condo apartments. The lightest blue is condo townhouses, and then yellow is detached. And you can see there's a bunch under 500,000.
Yeah.
A bunch.
Yeah, that's actually, it looks like a huge portion under 500 for detached, which is really cool. And I remember previous months where we've reviewed this, there has been more or less in any given period, but it's really interesting to see as well what's going on at the bottom end of the price points. Very little, obviously, under 300 in detached, which we would expect, but there's got to be a lot on the market right now for condos, eh?
Yes. So condos are, Toronto's got it the toughest for sure, but I think that's trickling down through every market. So condos are a bit tougher, but in the last, anecdotally, in the last 2 weeks, we've seen an uptick in that. So I think people are slowly getting back into the condo market. A lot of first-time home buyers, for sure. The other thing that I wanted to mention from this is average listings. Historically, you can see our listings are going up quite substantially, but the months of inventory is actually going down ever so slightly. So that's this bottom graph here. So as much as we are having a bunch of new listings, there are sales. It is slower than it's been, but things are starting to happen, especially for the team in the last 2-ish weeks. It got quite busy. So we're pretty happy about that. The other thing to point out is for April 1st to May 21st, that median days on market is 29. The 42 is over the span of the active listings for the year. So.
Right. Also really interesting to just take a look at total dollar volume. Like there's actually a lot of transactions happening. right? And so despite there being maybe a longer days on market or whatever, there's a fair bit of money changing hands, which is always exciting to see.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like, we're at 97% list price versus sale price. So that's like a lot of things are selling relatively close to ask. And then you have that 12.5% above list price, which is usually the people holding offers. But in some cases, we're seeing some listings go over if they're, if it's a unique listing that people have been waiting for or something like that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I love that metric too, right? The sale to list price, because it just gives you a pulse. If you're looking to buy or if you're looking to sell, just like where should you price things as a pricing strategy, or what sort of offers should you be making as you're looking at the market. So I always love looking at that stat.
Yes, so that's the stats. And actually to build off of this, so we talked about this last time. I want to quickly just touch on this. I'm just talking about, I think this is a great time to get into the market for the first time if you're a homeowner who has investing aspirations. So we talked about this home ownership program in Niagara, which they offer a down payment, which helps home buyers through 10% interest-free loan up to $66,774.80. And then there's the ADU program in St. Catharines, which a lot of people are familiar with, but max of $40,000 on an interior ADU and $80,000 on an exterior. And the reason I wanted to talk about that again, this is a snippet of the 160 houses, detached houses in Niagara, the region. This all shows St. Catharines and Thorold, under 450,000. So there are 165 houses under $450,000 that are detached.
Dang.
So if you're looking to get into the market for the first time, it is, I would say, a little bit easier right now. Interest rates are not as low as they were, but definitely a lot fairer than they've been. And this is, you can see there's duplexes in there, semi-detached, detached. Some of these have the garage if you're looking to do an ADU. Some of them have a high enough basement. They're in all sorts of areas. So you have downtown St. Catharines, you have Eastchester, Facer, Thorold, and then there was some in every city. So I think that there is a huge, huge opportunity right now for people that are in a lower price point.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I remember the last time we talked about this, it's worth saying again, like the concept of a $66,000 interest-free loan. Another way to reframe that is it's as if you did not have to go out and make an additional $130,000, $140,000 last year to get that after-tax money, right? And if it's going to come to you at a 0% interest rate, like I just want the people at home to really try and imagine, like, how would you go about going and making an additional $130,000, $140,000 this year in order to have that $66,000 on your own? And I mean, that's a pretty big ask if you're asking for a raise at your job to get that additional funding. So I think that's a fantastic program.
Yeah, so we just wanted to kind of show everyone that there are pretty inexpensive houses floating around if you're looking for one. And I've been through several of these and they're actually great houses. So it's not like these are the bottom of the barrel. Some of them are, but not all of them.
Yep.
All right. So now jumping into deals. The rest of this is all just deals. And a lot so we're flipping from like first time home buyer investor to probably more seasoned investor for a bit. A lot of larger commercial buildings. So this is in Niagara Falls. I love this, mostly because everyone knows I'm pretty excited about the legal Airbnb opportunities that exist in the Falls. So this is a large commercial space. It's just shy of 10,000 square feet. It has GC zoning, which allows for short-term rental, boutique hotel, resident, like a whole bunch of different opportunities with the GC zoning. It's beside a really neat venue in the Falls. So the market's there. It's just a beautiful venue. It's also extremely close to the Falls. It's close to Clifton Hill. It's like all exposed brick inside, super high ceilings. It's for sale by owner, which sometimes can be an opportunity and on the flip side can sometimes be a bit of a block. But I think that this is a good opportunity for someone that knows how to take this from, where it is now to what it can be. Obviously, there needs to be some concessions on the price, but the taxes are decent. It's in a great area. The outside of it's already pretty nice. And I think it could be a super, super neat, in my head, boutique hotel situation, but it could be CMHC if you go through like the res route. So I do think that this is very neat, especially because of the location. And we know someone who owns a building on Main Street that they do Airbnb out of, and it does exceptionally well. So that is why I like this one.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. And I think if you are looking at Niagara Falls and the developments that have been going on there, whether it's infrastructure or the city itself coming up with all these various programs to help people get into the market, like it's just such a growing and vibrant community that I think you can't overlook the opportunities like this for short-term stays. Everything that you bring to us in terms of these new developments and really cool new things happening in the community, it just screams short-term stays, and it screams as well short-term stays for various reasons. It's not just the entertainment, it's not just the viticulture, it's also hospitals and it's schools and things like that that are nearby that are just drawing people into the area, and that could be for any period of time. So I love the short-term rental investment strategy there.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to mention is we manage property that's midterm in the falls, and that does exceptionally well as well. There's like you said, the hospital, there's people training for football randomly, there's people coming, they're in between houses. There's just a lot of reasons for people to be there that, again, I've talked about this 100 times, but that new university is a huge one. So that was why I wanted to bring this one on the channel, but also this one. So if you're familiar with the falls, Victoria is closer to the like downtown Niagara Falls proper, so Queen Street. It's priced quite a lot lower. It is smaller, so it's 5,700 square feet. It still has that GC zoning. It can still be your Airbnb, boutique hotel, res if you want to go that route. The other reason I like this is because there are a lot of programs that are working to bring medical professionals into the Niagara region, and there are grants and stuff for that. And we've worked with medical professionals in the past to purchase a building that they've done a massive renovation on, and I can see how this one would lean very good to that. There's a community health center right beside it. So I think that this is an opportunity for all sorts of different reasons, but even from a, let's say like a med spa or massage therapist, chiropractor, it's already set up for that. So I think there's an opportunity there, but as well, if you're willing to go through the reno, to bring it to your boutique hotel. We have clients that own a legal Airbnb across the street. Again, does exceptionally well. It doesn't seem to matter where you are in the falls, as long as it's nice and it's close to attractions, people will stay there. And a lot.
Yeah. What's the current layout of this building? I just noticed this this MLS sheet here just doesn't have a ton of data on like what it's currently set up. Is it one large 5,000 square foot space right now? Is it? It says mixed use.
As a doctor's office currently.
Okay.
Like a pharmacy doctor's office.
Okay, got it.
That's why it kind of leans to both. You demo it if you want that, and if you do, it's already kind of set up for what you might be looking for. And the cities do, obviously, they're pretty pro bringing new services into the city, or remaining in this case. So I think that there would be support there.
Awesome.
All right, my deal portion is done. I'm going to hand it over to Adam, who's an agent on the team. He's going to go through a slew of deals, and then Adam's going to hand it over to Corey. Corey is the newest agent on the team. I'm going to let him introduce himself because he's got a laundry list of experience. But first, we will throw it to Adam, who was on the channel last month.
Awesome. Hey, welcome back to the channel, Adam. It's great to have you here. Kayla pulled up this beautiful looking building for us. And we're here to hear all about it, man. This looks great.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of them, or a few of them actually. So give you a brief rundown before I kind of go through the next few of them. So I partnered with a company called Cento Commercial, right? So we've actually taken a little bit of a sidestep to what we were doing last month. So last month I had on here 363 Front Street, which was one building we had up. I was talking to the guys and we're like, you know what, why don't we position the whole thing as a package? So we're actually positioning our whole portfolio at the moment as a package deal, and we're kind of keep adding on to as we go along. So this one here that we have is one of the latest ones that we've got in the works at the moment in Dresden. So it's coming along. So you've got kind of right now the boarded up wood there, but I guarantee now it is windows. It is an older photo. So it doesn't look as helpless because it's going to be a brand spanking new building. So this has been completely gutted and redone from the ground up, which is kind of seems to be our forte at the moment. But yeah, it's a fantastic little downtown property in Dresden. We've got 5 res, 1 commercial. We've got a couple of residential tenancies set up for it already. Commercial's already got a lease in place as well. Had an amazing appraisal on this one at 1.4, and it's going to gross about $92,000 a month when we're done with this one here. But we've also got MLI Select has been approved for it. Got a 40-year loan going with this one, so it's looking pretty strong and a pretty healthy property.
Yeah, that's great. So it's coming in at 1.4. Is that what you guys are listing it at?
No, so we're not actually going to list any particular price. So because it's the whole package. I'll go over some of the grosses that we got on these properties, and we don't have an exact firm number on the actual what we're asking. Got some appraisals, got some grosses. If anybody wants to reach out to fine tune these numbers, I can give more expenses that are going along with this property. Some of them have some expenses, some of them really don't. We're trying to put a lot of the utilities on the tenants. Most people are okay with it these days, and trying to get those expenses down as much as possible.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, so this is Dresden, but it's going to be a cool building once it's all said and done there. This one here is another one part of the package. It's in Brockville. We've had this one for a few years. It's not as completely renovated as some of the other ones that we've been doing here. We did rebuild two of the units, and so they're brand spanking new. Revitalized one of them, but this one's another 8 unit. It's mixed of 5 res, 3 commercial. And the one there on the far left says the Jewel Box. They've actually been there for about 50 years. So they've been a staple of that building for quite some time, which is kind of cool. But appraised at 1.68, which is a little bit of an older appraisal, but grossing 133. A little more expenses on this one because we couldn't separate the water. So a little bit more on the expense side, but still, it's a pretty strong property at 133 gross per year on this one.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's coming, just I'm not sure. Hold on, what was that? It's like 230 per unit.
About there, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, 210 on this one. The last one was 230.
Yeah.
Okay, 210 a unit, commercial. This one looks beautiful. I mean, the facade's great.
It's a cool building. Yeah, it's a really nice building. So, and it's all rented out, so it's just fully occupied. So, good, strong tenants. We like this.
Awesome.
Next one we got up. So this is one that we did have up last time. So Belleville, we were asking 2.6 on this one. Appraisal was 2.745 though. Grossing 160 grand a year. Still fully occupied. Everybody's in there. But this is one of the ones that we had fully rebuilt. So again, another ground up, all new framing, plumbing, electrical, the whole thing. One thing that did change though from the last time is that we didn't have the MLI Select approved on this one. We do now. So we're actually, as of today, we've got guys going in there doing the ductless splits. So that's going in there. That was the last remaining piece to get the approval for a 40-year loan on this one. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So it's coming along nicely.
That's great. And I've got a mixed-use building similar size, and it actually is like such a giant headache to not have those splits in there.
It is.
This winter, I got smoked, man. It was completely unreasonable what I was getting billed for gas and hydro, because like my building was it was set up, it's older tenants, all inclusive, and because we don't have the splits, it is legitimately the worst when it comes to expenses. So it's always good to hear a building that's been done and done properly.
Right. Yeah, it'd be a nice thing. The tenants appreciate it too. So yes, they're looking forward to having some AC during the summer months as we hit into it.
Yes,
very good lately, but when the weather does hit, they'll appreciate it.
Yeah, you just can't you cannot complain enough about how hot these buildings get on the top floor during the summer, and then in the winter when the bottom tenants are cold, they heat even higher, and then that smokes the top again. So it really I would scream from that rooftop, we've got splits, we've got ductless splits.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It's worth the investment though. For the money that you're putting in, and you're getting an extra 10 to 15 years out of your financing. Well worth the investment, right? So
yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
All right, hang on. The next one. So this is a recent pickup we picked up a few months back. So it's in Simcoe. This one here, it's another 8-plex. 8-plex can kind of be the name of our game at the moment. They just seem to work and what we're going with. But we had an appraisal on this one at 2.764 million, grossing 166 per year. So we got 2 commercial tenants on these guys. They've been here for a few years, so good long-term tenants, and then 6 residential. 5 up top and 1 main floor residential. The nice thing about this property, though, is that there actually is hidden in the back another unit. It's not developed yet, so it's actually just a brick exterior. And so we may end up actually rebuilding out that last remaining unit to give us a 9-plex. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, going through. So there's still some value add on this one. So that 2.76, appraisal is as is, but there's still, you can push envelope a little bit when you get that 9th unit in there. So
yeah, that's great. That's a cool looking building.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's actually really nice. When you drive by it, it actually has a really cool character to it. I like that one. But that's the 4 that we have now in this package. We do have another one that may come, so maybe next month there might be a 5th one added to it. We're in the works on getting together. It's going to be a 12-plex. That one's exciting. We'll kind of hopefully bring that one up as well next time. That's
awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming back. And I hear we got more deals.
I've got one last one here. This is an off market. Kind of came our way about a week ago. So we're talking to a new builder, and he brought this 2-unit up to us. He says, hey, I've got this property, sold one up the street. Can you help us? Do you have any buyers? We're like, well, we do have some people that are interested in the one that we already sold. We'll see what we can do. So this one here, he's got in Welland, brand new. Nobody's lived in it. They're actually still working on it. So that bottom right photo, take that with a grain of salt. We actually run that through ChatGPT because there was a whole bunch of tools in that photo, but we, ChatGPT the photos, the tools out of it. But that's pretty much the unit there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you've got 2 bedrooms upstairs, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath upstairs, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath downstairs. It has separate meters on it. It's got 10-foot ceilings upstairs, 9-foot ceilings downstairs. It's a pretty cool property. The doors themselves separate. So you've got on the right side of that front there's a door that goes in. So it's a raised bungalow. One goes up, goes down. You've got laundry that gets split, or you could actually have each unit with its own laundry. It is set up for multifamily. So you can do it that way or not, but it's 5 total bedrooms, 3 bathroom. And it's a good little raised bungalow. They are asking $690 on this one. So I know that they were asking $685 at one point. That's before finishing the basement. They went ahead and finished the basement off. So for an extra $5,000, you're now getting a fully finished basement.
That's awesome. Yeah, it looks super light and bright. Love the ceiling heights.
Yeah, well, 10 foot's crazy, but it shows really well. But yeah,
that's
what
awesome.
I get.
Thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate the deals.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'll put you on to Corey.
Corey.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Welcome to the Canadian Real Estate Channel, man. I heard you got some deals for us.
I do have some deals for you, and I'm glad I joined Kayla's team at Smith & Co. here. I've been on board now for a couple months, so looking forward to how this all turns out. So, yeah, I have a couple of deals. I have a few deals I can go through. So the first one I wanted to talk about is really, it's a duplex. It's a smaller investment, and these are something that really wasn't available a few years ago. This is a perfect house hack, intermediate to beginner investor type of property. So this one here, we just reduced the price from $574 down to $550. It is a main floor and upper unit duplex. Each of them are 2 bedrooms, has a shared laundry in the basement, and it's separated meters. Both units right now are vacant and clean and painted and everything. It's literally turnkey. Somebody could just move into one unit, rent the other unit. Your estimated rents on these are anywhere between about $1,650 to $1,700, and that's plus utilities. So that's really nice. What I like about this type of property is if you're a first-time investor or specifically a first-time home buyer, you can buy this property for very little down, live in one of the units, and have the other unit pay the majority of your expenses. So there's a couple of programs available in Niagara that also help with that. You guys talked about it a little bit earlier. You have your Niagara First-Time Home Buyers Program. If there was an investor that wanted to house hack to take advantage of that program, it'd be pretty amazing. You'd really get your down payment down. Of course, you get your land transfer back as a first-time home buyer. So all that you would have to do is come up with the legal fees to close this. And then you would live in a 2-bedroom unit right downtown St. Catharines for very little money, right? So it's a pretty cool deal with that. The other thing about this property, which I'm excited about, is it's on a very large lot. So the lot is available, you could put an ADU in the back, no problem. So, the cost of doing an ADU, if you did a prefab compared to building it yourself, is probably somewhere between $150,000 and $200,000. And St. Catharines has that ADU grant available. Now, it's close to running out of money for 2025, but I've spoken directly with the people running that program at the city, and it's been renewed for 2026. So they expect to get the funding again. They might even get further funding in 2025 because the program's been so successful.
Yeah.
So if you could like put an ADU in the back of the yard and then get your grant, and then you have an additional, you know, a 1-bedroom ADU in the back with a split heat pump on it would be, you know, you're going to get $1,850 for that. And it would only cost you like $40,000 or $50,000 out of pocket at the end of it after the grant. So pretty cool opportunity for a newer investor to get into the marketplace like that.
Yeah, that's a really great insight. And we always talk about house hacking at Canadian Real Estate Channel. It's how almost every serious investor gets started. And I stand behind the strategy. I think it's fantastic. And using these grants and using these various programs, I was too dumb to do that when I got started. But hopefully, if you're watching this at home, like take advantage of those programs and work with the right power team so that you know about the programs that are out there. Because it sounds like for a deal like this, you could walk in with no or low down and be spending probably less than what you're currently renting for wherever you are. And you're getting that mortgage pay down. You've got these value add opportunities. And of course, you're just levered. You're creating leverage for your future, right? You can then turn this asset around, re-leverage it later to go buy something bigger and better.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're on the exact same page. It's a really good opportunity for some people. And then I have another property that's very, very similar, not in look or stature, but it's another duplex. It's a 2-bedroom or a 2-unit, 2-bedroom each unit. This one has individual laundry in the basement for each unit, so you're not sharing your laundry. The upper unit has a nice big balcony on the front of it. It's actually off market. So right now we haven't put it on MLS yet. We're offering it off market at $575. Very similar though, as far as the money and how, you know, the program. So like this would be a great first time home buyer's house hacker. Again, you could take advantage of the programs and live in one of the units for very little money and have the other unit cover most of the expenses. So this one, by the way, the upper unit is vacant and has just been updated, renovated with some new flooring and paint and all that kind of stuff. And then the lower unit is actually rented for $1,800 a month plus utilities. So it works out really well. And they've got an A+ tenant in the main floor. So somebody looking at either buying this straight up as an investment or as a house hack is a really good deal.
Yeah, and one thing I left out in that previous talk about house hacking is it's usually best for you as the house hacker to keep the lesser of the units. And it looks like this is probably that situation where you already have an A+ tenant in the basement. They're paying great market rent, or sorry, not the basement, but the main floor. And you could take that, it looks like it'll be a smaller unit upstairs, but you get that great balcony, right? Like there's a bunch of redeeming qualities about that, and it's already done for you, which is kind of nice too. So I like that as well.
You're exactly right. And it's a 1.5 stories. So you're right. It's not quite as large, but it is a 2-bedroom plus a little den as well. And again, it's been all freshened up since the last tenant left. So it's a nice little, like, you know, a young couple or single person living in that. There's tons of room.
Awesome.
The next one I got is a little bit of a different deal. So this is not for a beginning investor. So
it's a bridge.
Yeah, selling the bridge. Well, it's right next to the bridge, that building right next to it. So that used to be the Bogner Photography Studio. So it was actually built by a gentleman by the name of Alexander Rose back in 1876. And so we've kind of nicknamed it the Rose Block Lofts. What it is right now, it's a 10,000 square foot, 3-story building. It's been completely gutted. So the floors are 12 and 13 feet high. And we've designed basically a 14-unit residential parcel. So we're looking at, we got 10 1-bedroom units, 2 studio units, and then we have 2 2-bedroom units on the 3rd floor. And what we've done is the 3rd floor, well, actually the side next to the bridge there, that overlooks the Welland Canal. So we've got the 2 bedrooms on the 3rd floor there overlooking the canal. All the units on the canal side of the building have 8.5 by 3.5 foot windows overlooking the canal. Yeah, it's crazy.
Those are big windows.
Those are the biggest windows I've ever measured out for sure. Yeah. So Most of the hard work on this has been done, right? So the phase one environmental has been completed. We've got the drawings done, stamped electrical, plumbing drawings, all that kind of stuff. We also have an appraisal, which is an as-is appraisal, as complete appraisal. It's been underwritten 3 different methods through a mortgage agent, showing how to take it into both conventional financing, CMHC, and then CMHC MLI Select. So you guys were talking earlier about the split heat pumps, and that every unit has their own, they control their own temperatures in this. So it follows the affordability, sorry, not affordability, it follows the energy efficiency for MLI Select. Yep. And also the main floor is accessible. So that also helps with MLI Select as well. So this is ready to go. It's actually permit ready. And, we've actually got construction quotes as well. So it looks like it could be a perfect burr. Like it's for sale for 1.6 right now. It's got an as complete appraisal of 3.5. And your construction, depending on whether you go in-house or outsource, is probably somewhere between 1.4 and $1.7 million. So it's a pretty neat project that you could really complete a perfect burr if you do it right. Also, and you guys may be familiar with this, Welland has some very significant community improvement programs. So there's some grants available. There's a tax abatement available. There's some dollars available, about $100,000 to go towards the construction of this. So there's some pretty cool programs available for this type of construction as well.
Yeah, that's great. And again, that just would knock off, that would help you to knock off several thousand, tens of thousands actually per unit as you start looking at the cost per unit, what you think market rent would look like in something like this. It's great to have the permits done. I've been through the freaking environmental process as well and getting all of these permits ready. It's honestly a giant pain in the ass and it takes a bunch of time. And I think that's the actual value add here is just the time. Anybody can get this stuff done, but it takes forever in a lot of cases to get it done. And so you just save all that time, and that's time where you don't own the building. It's time where you didn't purchase the building, then sit on your hands and wait to try and complete all this, because I've done that too, and that's not as fun.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We had to go through a couple minor variances on this. One of them was to add additional units. So we had to go through the committee of adjustments and all that kind of stuff. So you're right. That just literally, you're sitting there for several months with you're sitting on your hands waiting for the permits and all that, everything to be approved. So
yeah. And again, just for those at home, maybe if this deal is a little bit out of your reach, the way I think about something like this is, had you purchased this, it wouldn't have been 1.6 without having done that. But let's just say it was 1.3. If it was 1.3 and you're sitting on this trying to do that work yourself, sitting there for 6 months with a mortgage at 1.3 million, you got to think it's about $500 for every 100,000 you mortgage, plus or minus, but generally that kind of works out for just napkin math. And so really quickly you can start to see the savings there by not doing that yourself and purchasing something that already has it done. Plus all the learning curve too. If you didn't know where to go, or you're trying to learn the committee of adjustments, or you don't know the proper communication channels to figure all that out, it takes forever and it's a ton of money.
Yeah, it really is. Hiring the proper planning consultant, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're totally right.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for bringing these deals to us here today.
You're welcome.
And if is this the last deal you guys have today?
This is the last one for me, so I'm going to pass you over to Kayla.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the channel, and welcome to the Smith & Co.
Thank you so mujust.
Kayla.
Hi.
You brought us a ton of deals today.
Oh, I have one more thing to say.
Of course you do.
We do this every time, but I'm just bringing up the investor Facebook group. If you're not in it, you should be. We share a bunch of deals on and off market. The link is there. You can reach out to us. This is just an example of something that was posted this week. So yeah, if you're not in it, reach out and we will make sure we get you in it.
Dang, that's actually a sick deal.
Oh yeah. What
the hell? You're just going to glaze over a 7.72 cap rate? Whatever. We just see deals like this every day in our groups. We don't care.
Yeah. So if you're in the group, you would have seen this a few days ago. So it's new news here.
Sheesh. All right. Well, they're posting 7.72 cap rates privately in this group, so I think you should jump over there. And my understanding is it's totally free to join. So you should absolutely be looking in there for a bunch of different things, right? Building out your power team, looking to network with other investors, as well as staying up on the news, because Kayla's always smoking everybody with news on what's going on in the Niagara region. And every time I'm like, dang, how much research do you do? You need
I
a
will
research methods
say,
degree.
it's been like the last month has just been tariffs. There is a new program if you own a business where you can help us overcome tariff issues, like not me personally, but Ontario. But other than that, it was pretty boring. But next month there should be some exciting stuff. There's some exciting stuff I heard through the grapevine that should be posted soon.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard it here first. The grapevine's chapping at us. So anyways, Kayla, thank you so much for coming back on the channel. We did miss you, of course, and it's great to have you back. And thanks for bringing company. It's good to meet new friends on the channel, and a ton of deals today. I'm loving that. So keep the deals coming. We love the stats and what's going on there. A ton of volume moving around. And yeah, I'm excited for the Niagara region to finish out this year.
Me too.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you back here next month. Thanks, Kayla.